movie is a South Korean mystery thriller named Recalled. Sujin is at the hospital, she's getting checked by the doctor. They ask her if she can recognize her husband Ji-hoon, but she can't. Ji-hoon helps her to clean up, and lets her know that she will get better soon. On their way out, Sujin is reading some notes to help her regain her memories. She's disappointed because she's not a billionaire's daughter, but instead, an orphan. She asks Ji-hoon about how he confessed his love to her. He says he never did that, not during nor after the wedding. When she asks why he didn't, he says he doesn't know. Sujin is afraid to meet people and not be able to recognize them. Ji-hoon practices with her. If she meets a woman, she should just act friendly, but if she meets a man, she should pretend not to know him. They laugh together. Sujin arrives home for the first time after her accident. Ji-hoon asks her to stay for a while. He prepares a cake to surprise her. On her way up, the power goes off and the elevator stops working. Sujin panics. Her husband finds her passed out. When she wakes up, he asks her to go back to the hospital, but she disagrees. She asks about the cake, but he disappointedly tells her it was to celebrate her coming back home. Sujin asks about the picture on the wall. Ji-hoon asks her if she remembers. She answers if that's their home in Canada. He says yes. She asks who suggested to immigrate there. He replies that she wanted them to go, so he helped her with preparations. He then starts rambling about the Vermilion Lakes. At the immigration office, the employee asks him why does he want to immigrate that fast, leaving his countless years of experience, and selling all his properties. Sujin goes out. She meets a little girl in the elevator. She tries to help her, but gets a vision of the girl almost getting hit by a truck. Outside, the little girl goes to her brother. She falls to the ground, and as the truck is coming her way, Sujin pushes her. Ji-hoon comes to rescue Sujin. The little girl goes her way. Ji-hoon reprimands Sujin for being reckless. He brings her meds and asks her to take them. She takes the pills and sleeps. Ji-hoon stares at her while sleeping. A man is carrying a luggage bag at night to a place. The police are investigating some material stolen from an old building. They talk to a worker. He tells them that the place is soon to be demolished. The detective asks him why he came back at 1 a.m. in the morning. What is he hiding here? But the worker says he just wanted to make sure everything is well for the landowner. Sujin is scrambling on her notebook. She finds herself drawing. She notices the little girl neighbor and follows her inside. She talks to her about the other day. The girl looks scared and doesn't answer. That's when Sujin gets another vision, where the girl's mother turns the stove on and the place explodes. Sujin calls her husband and tells him to come home, as she thinks something bad is going to happen. Her vision comes to life in front of her. When she tells doctor, she tells her that déjà vus are just after effects of her brain damage. Sujin says that no matter what she says nobody will believe her. They will think she's crazy. As she's leaving, she notices the little girl and boy from their building, but when her husband talks to her, she turns around and sees they're gone. Her husband is angry. He tells her that she's not sane. Later in the beach, he apologizes to her. She asks him if she knows how to swim, then goes to the water. She has fun with her husband. They play in the water for a while. He tells her that he will always be there for her. Sujin gets a vision of herself falling off a building after a man pushes her, then wakes up. The detectives from earlier came after receiving a report from the hospital. One of them says that their place looks like a model house. They ask her about the bruises she has, which might have been before the incident. They think her husband might have been an abuser. Sujin responds that if that was the case she would have definitely reported him. Sujin notices, while signing the report, that Ji-hoon's birthday is tomorrow. On their way out, the detective says that their position in the wedding picture is reversed. Sujin calls Ji-hoon and asks him to tell her about him. As she knows nothing, he tells her not to worry, she will soon remember. Sujin meets a teenager on the elevator. She gets a vision of that girl strangled by someone. She follows the girl and tells her that a man with a scar on his chin will try to hurt her. The girl brushes her off and gets inside to her dad, who seems to be the abuser. Sujin follows the girl, but gets distracted and loses her. She meets a woman who seemed to know her. The woman tells her that she was worried about her since it's been a while. She takes her to the art academy where she used to teach and shows her her desk. The woman asks Sujin to tell her about how she lost her memory. She asks if her husband still doubts her faithfulness. She then changes her statement and says that her husband loves her and was jealous. Sujin takes her husband's business card and goes to see his workplace, but she finds the floor empty. The security guard tells her they closed down after bankruptcy 6 months ago. Ji-hoon asks Sujin why she didn't answer his calls all day. She asks him if they're leaving to Canada because of his financial situation. She also tells him that she went to her old workplace. When Ji-hoon asks her if she got her memories back, she asks him if there's a problem with that. She yells at him for not telling her about where she worked. He says that he couldn't tell her, and that she's the one who painted that picture on the wall. He tells her that he was only worried she'd be devastated for not being able to draw again after damaging her fingers. She tells him that she's confused and keeps seeing visions and doesn't know who she is, all because he doesn't tell her anything. The detectives are looking at the CCTV footage. They notice that there's only one car that passed by on the way to demolished building site, and it belonged to the husband Ji-hoon. Ji-hoon goes to an apartment that's apparently been seized. He takes out a passport. Sujin receives her old stuff from the art academy. She finds pictures of her with another man. She bumps into the abuser from in her building, gets another vision, and angrily tells him to not touch his daughter. If something happens to her, she'll report him. He attacks her and strangles her. In the old building, the worker tells the detectives that Ji-hoon, the architect, has been hiding from loan sharks since his business failed, and no one knows where he is. The detective asks his colleague about how Sujin fell during a hike and lost her memory. The worker asks if Ji-hoon is a suspect. Sujin is losing her shit. Ji-hoon gives her the pills to calm her. She wakes up at night, goes to the teenage girl's apartment and hears her screaming. She hears the door opening. A man is carrying luggage bag gets out. It's Ji-hoon. The security guard hands him out Sujin's box that was left in the elevator. That's when he finds out that she knows about her past. Next morning, she asks him if he went somewhere in the middle of the night. He tells her he was sleeping next to her all night, and asks her to eat. Sujin goes to see her old colleague and asks about Ji-hoon's personality. The woman asks her if he still hits her. She tells her that she was getting abused and was on antidepressants. Sujin asks her if she was dating another man. The woman says that she doesn't know, but that's what Ji-hoon thought. Sujin also finds out from the security guard that Ji-hoon was the one with the luggage bag. Meanwhile, Ji-hoon is buying the earliest flight tickets. While tracking her location, Sujin goes to the police station. She reports a man killing the teenage girl and putting her in the luggage bag. When they ask if she's seen the culprit's face, she tells them it was her husband Ji-hoon. Ji-hoon tells them that nothing of that sort has happened. They go to check, and find the teenager's apartment empty. No one has ever lived there. Ji-hoon gives Sujin her pills and lets her know they will leave to Canada in 2 days. She pretends to sleep, then takes out the pills and goes out. She meets that she was supposedly dating, chased and threatened by a thug. He tells her that he was looking for her and asks her to come in. The man asks her to meet in the building site at night. She gets a vision of his death and tells him not to go there, but he ignores her. Sujin checks his mail and finds that the man's name is Ji-hoon. She looks at the wall and finds their wedding picture. The old man is interrogated by the police for stealing the materials from the building. They ask him if he broke the CCTV to keep stealing. He proceeds to tell them about what he's witnessed happening there. In the meantime, Sujin calls the police and tells him someone is about to be killed there. The worker tells them that the car that was there belonged to Ji-hoon, but the driver was Sanu. Sujin in the construction site witnesses the real Ji-hoon killed and dragged. Sanu asks her why she's here. She runs away, and he follows her. She scratches him in the face, asks if he killed the real Ji-hoon. He tells her to trust him, but she says he's just a murderer. As she's backing off from him, the police arrives. She tells them he killed Ji-hoon, but they find no body, and the luggage bag is empty. As he's taking her away, the detective arrests him. He breaks the cement, and finds Ji-hoon's body buried there. Sanu admitted that he used to work with Ji-hoon in the same company. after the business has failed, they had a fight at the construction building and he accidentally killed him. He also planned to pretend to be Ji-hoon in order to take the insurance money after killing Sujin. Sujin asks the detective who this man is. He tells her it's her adoptive brother. Sujin begs him to tell her the truth, but he sticks to his story. She tells him that if what she remembers it correctly, she was also there when her husband was killed, but he tells he has nothing to say, and she should just go. Sujin goes back to her building. She meets the little girl and the boy, and finds out they have the same names like her and her brother. The detective asks Sanu about his father, and how did he disappear. Sujin goes to the teenage girl's apartment and finds out she has her name, Sujin. She takes her in. That's when she recalls what happened in the past. Her brother Sanu killed their abusive father because of his abusive behavior. Sanu tells the police about the location, and they find his body. Sujin goes to her old place. Her husband comes in. Sujin calls the police telling them that Ji-hoon is alive. They find out that the body was not his. Ji-hoon tells Sujin that he killed the lone shark that night and then buried him in cement. Sujin saw him doing that, so she freaked out. Ji-hoon found a Canada travel guide in her bag and asked her if she's leaving with Sanu. He asked her what kind of relationship does he have with Sanu. She grabs a pipe and hits him. When Sanu saw the body, he threw Ji-hoon in the cement as well. Sujin feels guilty for always making him take her shit, so she threw herself off from the building. Ji-hoon tells Sujin that he always wonders who loved her more, him or Sanu. Then sets their place on fire. On his way out, he attacks Sanu with a knife, and fights the detective, but ends up being arrested. Sanu gets to Sujin, bleeding from the attack. He tells her to go to Canada and start fresh, and then throws himself to the fire to protect her. The police tell her about Sanu's death. They give her his tape from the immigration interview. In the interview, he talks about a promise that he made with Sujin. Sujin always dreamt of playing next to the Vermilion Lakes with him. She wanted to start a new life in Canada, so he wanted to help her, even if he can't go. Thank you for watching, guys. If you liked today's video, please like it and subscribe to the channel.